What's up, gang? Is my mic working? Looks like it's working. Why for does Lurkbait think that I need to display all these boxes in the corner? See, I'm here. Jay, I'm not accusing people of not being here. At no point did I imply that. I'm just saying that you're busy, with your Twitch husband, Armrock. I'm not saying that you're abandoning us. But honestly, he seems like a really cool dude. So, you may as well support him. I think that we're meeting a lot of interesting people. And, um, everyone brings something else to this whole creation thing, I wouldn't play Tomb Raider. Not my kind of game. But, it's interesting to watch sometimes. I just don't care enough to follow the story, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, Jay. I think we all love Strawberry the most. That is something that we should track, is, without telling people, we should track which cat gets pet the most. Because people try and keep it even, but I can tell you that it is not. Alright, we'll be here, Levy. That's why I always start with Genie, because I know Genie gets pet the least by everyone else. You can track it in the Discord pics, basically. Well, I know that Genie is the one with the brown spot beside her nose. But other than that, I can't tell Strawberry tongue gets apart. And honestly, I could be wrong about that information too. My interpretation is Genie is the one with the brown spot beside her nose. Strawberry has a symmetrical face. Chungus has his fangs that stick out. And Genie has a brown spot beside her nose, right? Right? Well, at least I was 1 out of 3. But, look at these emotes, right? Genie's emote even looks sad. Sad, happy, surprised, which, covers the range of emotions. But, Genie looks sad. She looks neglected. She's a little mangy compared to the other two. Justice for Genie. That's all I'm saying here, I want to move that there. I'm telling you. Although she has had faith. Although, ever since I talked to her, she looks less sad. Well, that's good. I'm good that she has a good home. All pets deserve a good home. Ugh. I should fill my water on that note. I'll be right back. Her previous owner took care of her, but she was a lot shyer there for some reason. She's way less skittish here and super cuddly. Is it because she has other cat friends here? You know, like, is she just straight up better socialized? You know, like, she sees the other cats coming out to get pet and cuddled, so, like, she comes out to get pet and cuddled, right? No, their cats were cuddling. Well, that's all I got for you. Just relax better? I don't know, maybe. I could not speak as to any of that. Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, she's happy, she's healthy. That's all that really matters, right? You see through Chungus a lot. They're both old and shell. They cuddle. They cuddle. Chapter 24. Leia's face was sheened with sweat from the by the time Han let her out of the cabin's secret armory. It's okay, he said, offering her a hand. They finished and gone. They were certainly thorough enough, she commented, ignoring his hand and stepping out of the cramped space on her own. I could hear them walking around in here at least 3 times. They weren't very happy about the speeder bikes in the cargo bay, Han said as Leia sat down on the bed. She didn't look very much like a princess right now, he thought, with stray hairs plastered to her neck and her Tapcafé server's cover gown still wrapped around her. But underneath it, he could still see that royal dignity stuff. It made for a nice combination, actually. But I did a song in sync about military surplus, and they seemed to buy it, he added. They've probably gone off to run the serial numbers, Leia warned. Let them, Han said with a shrug. We'll be long gone before they can track any of that down. Brightwater just called. They're on their way back. Brightwater being one of the stormtrooper deserters you told me about? Don't worry, we can trust them, Han assured her. Though, we probably don't need to tell them exactly who you are anyway. We've got Chewie prepping the engines. A couple hours out to where he stashed his Falcon, and we'll be done with them. He caught an eyebrow. Unless you want to stick around and see if you can talk Larone and join the rebellion. Former stormtroopers? Leia countered with a wry smile. I don't think so. She hesitated, especially since I can't even talk you into joining up. Han grimaced, so she had noticed. That was a little awkward. Still, it was kind of flattering she'd taken the time to figure it out. It was a pretty big step, he reminded her. I know, Leia said, especially for someone who's used to taking orders only for himself. But it was a step we all had to take. Her eyes drifted to the hidden closet and the suits of stormtrooper armor. And after Alderaan, I don't think it's possible to be neutral anymore, she added quietly. Either support the Empire's oppression, or you fight it. I suppose I could stick around a little longer, Han hedged, but not really pledged undying loyalty to Mon Mothma and Reekin and the others. Then don't start with them, Leia said, looking earnestly back at him. Start with loyalty to just one person. Han looked at her, a funny feeling in his stomach. Was she actually saying? Chewbacca wants to join us, Leia went on. Do it for him, and for what his people have suffered under the Empire. The funny feeling vanished. Oh, he said. Oh, what? Just oh, Han said, back on balance again. Anyway, I better let Luke out of his closet. Leia's eyes widened. You mean you haven't done that yet? You're just standing here talking to me, and he's stuck in there? He's got a lightsaber, Han said blandly. He can always cut his way out if he gets bored. Han, see you later, princess. But she had a point, Han had to admit as he headed back into the corridor. Maybe he could start with the allegiance to just one person, someone like Chewie. Or maybe even someone else. Jade listened in silence to Larone's story as Quiller drove the speeder truck through Markin City's quiet streets. You should have gone to your unit commander, she said when he'd finished. There are procedures for dealing with incidents when there's a strong probability of self-defense. Procedures that wouldn't have involved us being turned over to the ISB? Grave asked. Point, Jade conceded. But you still should have turned yourselves in. Now it's too late. Probably, Larone said, trying to read her face. All of it was wasted effort. He had no idea what was going on behind those bright green eyes. But, to be honest, at this point, we don't really want to go back, after Teardrop. He stopped, a lump rising into his throat. Yes, and be assured that I'm going to look into that, Jade promised ominously. Ordering the slaughter of civilians is against everything the Empire stands for. If it's true, I promise you, someone's going to suffer for it. Lauren looked sideways at Marcross. The other grimaced in silent agreement. For all her strength and competence, This Emperor's hand had an awfully naive view of what the Empire actually stood for. But she would learn. What are you going to do with us? Quiller asked. For a long moment, Jade was silent. You're deserters, she said at last. You swore an oath of allegiance to the Empire, and you broke it. That's technically as treason as Short's own conspiracy. We understand, Lerone said. But with all due respect, our oath was actually to defend the Empire and its citizens. And you think that's what you're doing? Jade retorted, flying around the galaxy like loose laser cannons. We're certainly doing a better job protecting the citizens now than we did on Teardrop, Graves said. Lerone winced, but Jade didn't respond. They were inside of the Green Cliff spaceport before she spoke in. What name is your ship running under at the moment? The Melnor Spear, Lerone told her. I'll call the Executor and give you clearance, she said. Get off Shelkona and don't come back. Lerone glanced at Marcross, then back to Jade. Thank you, he said. May I ask why? The young woman gazed out at the windscreen as they passed through the spaceport. You helped me identify a traitor and take him into custody, she hesitated. Besides, a few days ago, I was ready to offer complete pardon to a man who'd done more against the Empire and citizens than any of you could ever possibly do. You'll never get to use it. You may as well have it instead. Yes, ma'am, Lerone said, wishing he knew what she was talking about. Thank you again. Quiller drove the speeder truck beneath Swantek and came to a stop. Just stay out of sight and out of trouble, Jade said, pushing up the door and climbing out. The next Imperials you run into probably won't be so generous. She looked at Marcross, and it seemed to Lerone that her head inclined ever so slightly to him. She started to turn away, then turned back. Oh, and one more thing. That Hand of Judgment name of yours? Yes, Lerone said, frowning. Lose it, she ordered. There's only one hand in the Empire, and I'm it. Turning again, she strode away into the night. Brightwater had pulled his mango speeder bike to the controls and had the Swantek cargo lift on its way down. What was that all about? He asked as Lerone climbed stiffly out of the speeder truck. Sort of a political conflict, I guess you'd call it, Lerone said. Fortunately, it's one I don't mind conceding. Let's make sure Solo and the others are aboard and get out of here. Sounds good to me, Brightwater said as the lift platform settled onto the permacrete. Are we actually going to stay out of sight in trouble this time, like she said? Lerone watched as Quiller drove the truck onto the platform. I don't see how we can, he admitted at last. We swore an oath to defend the people of the Empire. There are a lot of other dangers out there that they need defending against. Actually, I was kind of hoping you'd say that, Brightwater said, resting his hand briefly on her own shoulder. For all the bumps and bruises, this hero stuff definitely helps you sleep better at night. Agreed, Lerone said. Let's get our passengers back to the Falcon and get on with our lives. He looked back in the direction of the palace. And our duty. The Emperor leaned back in his throne, his yellow eyes glittering beneath his hood as he coolly regarded the two figures standing before him. It would seem Organa has slipped through your fingers, he said, his gravelly voice unreadable. So it would seem, my master, Vader admitted, lowering his head towards the Emperor in contrition. The search found no one. His helmet turned slightly toward Mara, but one vehicle was permitted to leave before the search was completed. My child, the Emperor invited. The freighter was carrying the stormtrooper unit I'd commandeered, Mara said. There's absolutely no chance that Organa could have stowed away without them finding her. Besides, the executor scanners detected only 5 life forms aboard. She looked at Vader. Actually, I'm not convinced Organa was ever on Shelkona in the first place, she added. I strongly suspect this was a story Chief Administrator Dursa cooked up to make sure Lord Vader would personally come to Morgan City. To what end? According to Dursa, he'd been collecting evidence of Shor's conspiracy for quite some time, Mara said. The problem with turning on your superior that way is how to make sure you give the evidence to someone who isn't one of his friends or fellow conspirators. She gestured to Vader. Who could be safer than Lord Vader? And who better place to help Dursa in his own ambitions, the Emperor suggested. The man does indeed wish to become governor in Shor's place, Vader confirmed. I'm certain he does, the Emperor said, and Mara could sense his early annoyance fading. Not now, perhaps later. He gestured. At any rate, the war continues. Return to your duties, Lord Vader. He smiled at Mara. As for you, my child, your next assignment awaits you in your quarters. They had left the throne room and were all walking down a long corridor before Vader finally spoke. What is your assessment of Dursa? He's a con artist and conniver, Mara said flatly. I wouldn't trust him any farther than I could see him. Agreed, Vader said. I don't intend to. Good. Mara hesitated. I have a favor to ask, Lord Vader. There was a short pause. Continue. It's about Captain Ozzel, Mara said. He claims his attack on the Jeperin base had nothing to do with me, but was based on intelligence supplied by Colonel Somero. And Somero supports him in this? Vader asked contentiously. Of course he does, Mara said in the same tone. For all their differences, she reflected, she and Vader at least had the same opinion of the ISB. And with their stories welded shut that way, there's no grounds for any kind of real interrogation. What would you like me to do? I'm not really sure, Mara confessed. Keep an eye on Ozzo, I suppose. I don't know if the man's disloyal, easily manipulated, or just plain stupid, but I think he bears watching. Vader aside another few steps. Leave him to me, he said at last. I believe I can arrange something. Countess? A voice called from the cross corridor they were passing. Countess Claria? Mara looked in that direction and saw a familiar person hurrying towards them. Why, hello, General Dirian, she called back, stopping to wait for him. Vader didn't even break stride, but continued in the hallway. What are you doing here? She asked as Dirian came up to her. I have a new position, Dirian said with a touch of pride. I was assigned to the team in charge of upgrading Imperial Center's planetary defenses. Congratulations, Mara said. I imagine you're sorry to leave the glitter of Moff Lovestock's palace. Hardly, said Dirian, his expression looking grim. I don't know if you heard, but just after I was transferred, Lovestock was hauled up on charges of embezzlement and treason. No, I hadn't heard that, Mara said honestly. It was a shock to us all, Dirian said, shaking his head. Imagine a man like that abusing his position and authority. Imagine, Mara agreed. Well, I'm on my way to a meeting, Dirian said, the gloom fading from his face. But I saw you and wanted to say hello. I'm glad you did, Mara said. Good luck to you, General. And to you, Countess. Bowing to her, Dirian headed off again down the corridor. Mara watched him go, a warm glow spreading through her. Baron could talk all he wanted about these scattered abuses of power, and certainly those abuses need to be dealt with. But as long as the Empire could still produce men like General Dirian, it would be worth defending, worth her energy and her life. And her allegiance. Turning again towards Vader's cloak, billowing in the distance, she headed for her quarters, where her next assignment was waiting. I think she just read I feel better for whatever reason. She's with Chungus a lot. They were both old and chill. Yeah, she's a good girl with the cutest meow. Luke stuck in the closet? Lol. Because the ship that they were on was a disguised freighter, and they had like hidden closets with their weapons and armor in them. It is what it is, Jay. You're here to hang out. You know, it doesn't really matter. It will only count in 2 of them. I can tell you that. I just don't know specifically how it calculates them. Normally, it will mute one of them on the actual video, and that's the one that won't count. If you have unmuted them all and have audio for all, I don't know how it calculates it. That being said, we are playing some Stray Gods today. Stray Gods. All my games look the same. Stray Gods, role-playing musical. If you've muted the video itself, that one shouldn't count. I can't specifically speak as to how it actually works. I just know how, like, hypothetically it works, right? Because I was reading into it, because I was curious how because, you know, early on Stone was saying, like, you know, he had more people in chat than were counting his viewers. So I did some reading on the Reddit, but I can't specifically say how to do it because I haven't done any testing myself, right? Because often I have like 4 or 5 view open with full audio, so I don't know who I count as viewing. And then, like, if I'm actually engaged in a conversation, I'll start closing tabs, and so I can focus on the conversation, right? Yeah, so, like, if I'm just kind of lurking and listening to everyone, you know, it counts as who it counts as, right? But, like, if I'm having a conversation with you while you're doing whatever, then I will close it so I make sure that I'm actively counting as part of your chat. And then, you know, who the other tab is, you know, kind of irrelevant at that point, right? It's a strategy. I can't speak as to specifically how efficient it is, but it's what I got, you know? Do we have game audio? OBS, or do I have game audio? Continue. You know what? It would help if I was tracking the game audio. Echoes, Paleo, Cuisinier, Grey Gods. You hear it? Perfect. Paul, Aphrodite, Persephone, Freddy. Let's go talk to Freddy. And we are romancing Persephone on this playthrough. Or we're attempting to romance Persephone. No promises.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
How are Kath and Brian? What do you know about the gods? How are the idol state a secret? I'll head out now. What do you know about the gods, Freddy?
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddy?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's gotta be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe?
Hello, Leo.
Who
Goodbye,
do you wanna hear
Levy.
about?
How you doing today, Leo? You missed story time. We finished our Star Wars book. So we'll be starting a new book tomorrow evening. You want her style? Freddy's or Grace's? Tell me about Paul.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun.
Jay, you're trying to seduce
and
me.
light,
I
but
love a girl in a
also
leather
kind
jacket.
Of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off
I
like a
think
dozen
that
men
like
and women
small
Apollo's had
gauges
as
are fine,
lovers, and there's
like up to
probably
the
more.
width of
Weren't
like
they
say a
all like
pencil.
that, though?
But after that, I think they look kind of odd.
Apollo's no Zeus. He never
You got a leather
assaulted
jacket?
anyone
I
as
might have a leather
swan.
jacket.
And no, they aren't all
give me a
like
second.
that.
I'll
Our
be right
sun
back.
god had a reputation.
Welcome back, Levy. What you eating? Also, is it me? Can I pull off a leather jacket? It's kind of big. Pizza. Leftover pizza. Tell me Persephone.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry she created winter.
You and drunk.
But otherwise,
You and drunk
Persephone
boss
was
got
just
fashion
your average,
jackets.
sweet and virginal fertility
Fashion
goddess.
show with Jamie. Fashion show.
You're right, that
Fashion show.
doesn't sound like her at all.
Fashion show at lunch.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands
pizza
of
for
years
days.
ago. I'd
Fair.
be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true.
I'll upload the VOD for this, though. Tell me about Pan.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil.
The devil.
Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan
Moon
having
needs to
sex
sleep.
with a
That's
goat.
fair.
Next time you see him,
It's,
you gotta ask him about it.
6 a.m. for Moon. So I don't think she has to work for the rest of the week, though. I think that's what she said.
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9, though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
Wow. I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
So, Jay, for your next batch of cats, name them all after Greek gods. You know, I don't know if you plan on getting more cats, but like, you know, if you decide that you need more cats, you can name them all after Greek gods. Get a little orange cat, name him Apollo, because he's like the sun. Get a little black cat, name him Hades.
What about Athena?
Just thought.
Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Oh.
Sure, but mostly
I say
that's
I don't want
meant
more cats,
as
but the minute I have no cats, I feel bad.
knowledge. Athena wasn't.
I think that's the thing,
sweetness
though.
and
Like,
light.
I
She
think
was a warrior
3 or
goddess.
4 is the
She
most
was
number of
also the
cats I
goddess
would
of
have.
Heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps
Don't name your
guys
cat
like
Paul.
Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own
Growing up, my
priestesses.
friend
She
actually had
turned
7
people into
cats.
spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
7 cats, 3
Not
dogs
being as wise as advertised is on brand for
in
her
a
then.
3-bedroom house, so that was kind of wild.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there is never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Me, I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost, but also what might still be out there.
All right, tell me
You
what
think
these
there
other
might be
gods.
other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? All those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
Yeah, it's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
All right, that's enough of
I
that.
wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
All right, how the idols stay a secret? No questions. How are Kaz and Brian doing?
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
Oh, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things.
Then where is Kaz Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
All right. Sorry about the man. I think the misconception that like one of them is explicitly cleaner than the other is that one of them poops in a box. Really,
I should really apologize.
never
about
date your
the
homeless
band.
friend.
This kind of puts
Fair.
a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we
Cult,
get back
cult,
to it and the
cult,
band now
cult,
has
cult.
the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
They get little paws everywhere though. Dogs don't do that. Plus, cats have hairballs, and the pee smells much worse. Bird cult? No. A cult to Grace, the Muse. You know.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody
But
has
haven't you
found them
heard?
out? The way I see it, it's like
but
UFOs.
bird's a word.
Okay,
Bird.
I have to hear this.
Bird is. Word.
Okay,
I don't
so
actually
you
know the
have
names of that
real
song.
evidence
Where's
that
that song?
UFOs exist and that governments have
Repeat
covered it
yourself.
up, and people
I'll explain.
still wouldn't believe
Actually,
it.
on Windy
Why?
Days.
Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline: Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
The dog that peed. I had a dog that peed on the other dog and he was totally okay with it. Weird. No questions.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
More mystery solving. All right. Let's go talk to our future wife. They both stand in the grass. One peed on the grass. The other peed on the dog. Was one of the dogs significantly bigger than the other dog? My sister's dog peed on me every time I went to the dog park. Before I could walk in, he would pee on me. Weird.
Back again so soon, Grace? You're practically a regular at the club.
Yeah, I just came from a chat with Medusa and...
A chat with Medusa. That's a surprise.
I know what you're thinking, but it was fine. Maybe I better explain what happened.
I knew it. We never should have brought that monster to the New World. Athena is a fool to think Medusa can be controlled. You're fortunate to have made it out in one piece. It could have gone very poorly for you.
Is Core the name of the dog?
You're right. I should have brought you to protect little old defenseless me.
Ah. If I'd
Persephone's
gone,
other
you would
name?
have found
Oh.
nothing more than an empty building, I assure you.
Because you're so big and scary.
I'm glad you appreciate my finer qualities.
At any rate, Medusa might be in the clear. Pan, however, is not.
Jail.
Pan might admit something unintentionally, but he can be too clever. Let me give some thought to our next step. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
Alright, well. We're in Agile, so let's wait for everyone to get out. Levy. Too kind. Too kind. Gifting subs and bits and doing Levy things over there. 3 gift subs in the channel. Jay, are you free? Does it make you finish up your ad jail if you get subbed in the middle of it? I have no idea how that actually works. Jay, blink twice if you can hear me. Blink 3 times if you can't hear me. Say nothing if you're very confused about what's going on right now. Tell me about Calliope.
Tell me more about Calliope.
Nothing.
You and her were good friends, right?
Jay, I was curious. What happens if you get gifted a sub in the middle of
And
ads?
if you had told me a decade
Do you
ago
still have
that
to
I
finish
would
up your
become close
ads,
to one of the
or does it
muses,
just
I
boot
would have
you
laughed
out?
in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures.
Sad. What ads did you get?
Calliope, Cleo, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their idol on to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. I mean, Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never thought of that.
Dog food,
Do
huh?
idols change gender a lot?
And we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the Muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
Well, Jay, it's probably because you're always talking about birds and cats, right?
If you disliked the Muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
Well, she sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and
I don't get bird ads.
laughed in her
Because
face.
there is no bird-specific
Go ask
ads.
one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Oh, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very
I'm
long.
unsure on that, Jay.
Her brothers and sisters, least of all.
I get the impression
The
that
idols
they
needed
were
to change,
friendly
she
in the
said.
very least, you know?
They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Tell me about the idols, tell me about Hades.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just...
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
that, yeah.
You know, one might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen, but Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever
Stockholm
happened to me.
Syndrome.
It's funny how our perspectives change.
What changed between you and Hades?
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another.
Womp womp.
Thank you very much.
And you were
I'm
punished,
guessing
right?
the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? What, lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive?
Apparently.
No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
Womp womp. Alright, so how were we in
How
charge
did
of
you
Right
go
Club?
from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you. But he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Yeah, I'd kick him out too.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
I mean, isn't Dionysus the god of like merriment and wine and like partying? Like, if they do a DLC with Dionysus, I can only assume he's like some kind of frat bro, you know?
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. Was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many.
Okay, so y'all ever see
Last
Stargate?
was the day Zeus
Like
called
the
us all
old
together
movie,
to tell us
and
Rome
then like it
had
was
fallen,
a 10-season TV
and we should
series
prepare
with two
for war.
spin-offs, Atlantis and Universe.
But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years
I'll give
later,
you my thoughts
in the
after this.
16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period
Yeah, Stargate.
the gap.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
Okay, so like y'all remember how the Gwald were like the little worm dudes that infested, you know, a host. And they had like genetic memory, so like their offspring would know everything that they knew, but they still had unique personalities. And like the core ones were the Egyptian gods. So like in the first, like in the actual movie, the villain was Ra, or Apophis. I want to say it was Ra, but it was more likely Apophis. Don't mind, just my dad watching in the background a lot. Fair. In any case, my point is that like the gods in Stargate were aliens. The Egyptian, the Asian gods were for sure the Goa'uld. The Asgardians were the Norse gods. The Celtics were also Goa'uld. In any case, the gods were aliens that projected their power via advanced technology, and they were worshipped as gods, as we would call them. So they're in. So Grace is not completely unfounded here. There is a sci-fi TV show backing for this thought process that, you know, the gods are aliens. And them passing their Eidolon on would be the same as the Goa'uld picking a new host, because the little worm is just a parasite that can transfer from one human to another. Plus, God is just a word that means powerful one. Yeah. So like the Goa'uld parasite did imbue the genetic memory of everything that it knew. So they were, you know, to an extent omnipotent, because they had just so much more knowledge than the average human, right? But it also allowed a human body to heal faster. And since it could heal faster and prepare itself, they could also live longer. Because their bodies would self-repair, right? And they did have advanced technology. The sarcophagus, which is, you know, as you would call a sarcophagus in Egyptian terminology, you know, a stone coffin, right? And the sarcophagus was a regeneration device that also helped maintain the body. But the problem being that if they maintained the same host body for too long, they would eventually go mad, because their brain would still deteriorate. Because it's still a human brain, right?
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or?
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my Eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was.
It's actually a really good TV
perhaps
show.
I was completely
I really
unaware.
do like it.
All I know is that one day,
I think it's on
Athena
Prime now.
came to my nunnery near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remain. Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together.
What happened in Rome?
It's troubling.
Persephone, I have a
That's all I
question.
can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Hold up, Grace.
Oh, yes, that's where I'll be. Around.
Grace, go back. Abort. What happened in Rome? Talk to Persephone. Go.
I didn't realize come by any time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Grace. Grace, ask what happened in Rome. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. Grace. Fuck.
Grace,
Yeah, told you she'd be back.
what are you doing here? When you stayed with Persephone, I thought that... Well, I didn't expect to see you again.
You were a jerk. You can still help. I want to check on you. Can't we be friends?
I thought I'd check in on you. The way you left, well, it was quite the scene.
Ah, yes, that. I want to apologize for my outburst. Being around my family brings out the worst in me, I'm afraid. It's why I avoid them whenever possible, and why I should have resisted getting dragged into all this.
All this, Calliope still needs you. Sorry about that. All this.
What do you mean, all this? Saving my life? Helping find your friend's murderer?
When we met, I said I would just make things worse. And I was right.
You haven't. Even if you had, isn't now the time to fix it?
Paul, you good?
Goodbye, Grace. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Paul? Paul, that was very unhelpful. 0 to 10. Would not recommend. Someone take a note. We hate Paul.
I didn't realize come by any time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
Tell
No,
me
not
about
really.
Rome.
I'll see you later, Persephone.
Nope. Guess not. Thanks, Persephone. Yeah, Paul's a jerk. Paul's a jerk. Persephone won't tell us about Rome. Levy, did I miss something somewhere? Did she already tell us what happened in Rome? Or Rain, do you know what happened in Rome? Because I sure don't remember. Also, welcome in, Rain. How you doing today?
Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace.
How
totally
was the
not dressed for
aquarium?
Occasion? Check.
I caught part of it when I was coming home
What
from
am I
work,
supposed to be
but
doing here?
didn't catch much.
Grace? You're here.
Yeah, I'm invited, aren't I?
I'm just surprised you even knew it was happening.
I saw the
Persephone said I should
34-foot
come to
whale
this.
shark.
Whatever this is.
Persephone
Yeah, exactly.
didn't
Go away,
tell
Paul.
you? Why am I not surprised?
I came for Aphrodite's help. You didn't tell me either. That doesn't sound good.
I don't like the sound of that. What am I missing?
It was just a snack stream. I love snacks.
You don't have any of Calliope's
We have
memories,
cookies.
right?
Oh, I have
Any
fancy
deja
cookies this
vu
week. I'll bring it
Recollections
back.
that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
Look how cute this is. We got actual sugar cookies this week. I'm holding it where you can't see it. I want one. These are leftover clearance Canada Day cookies. So they were $2 for 10 of them.
Seems like the sort of thing you should tell a new idol.
New idols are usually chosen. You would know about this already, except
Except Calliope was murdered.
Rip.
remember how old we all are. There are so many memories. So the veil lifts gradually to protect you. Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
You're saying I won't be me. I won't be Grace. Will I start calling myself Calliope?
Maybe. Eventually, most of us do, but most of us were chosen and prepared.
And I didn't choose this.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What? What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her Eidolon is a way to forget, for a while. That's what this party is for.
Why throw a party for it? Doesn't that mean everyone's here to...
Watch her die? Yeah, I suppose so. We're also here to celebrate. We're here to help Aphrodite remember before she forgets again.
Interesting.
Sounds like a real banger.
This party isn't for us, Grace. It's for her.
It was a delicious cookie, for the record. I do have 3 more. So if you guys want to come visit me, you guys can have a cookie. You just got to get here before I eat them.
This isn't the first time Aphrodite's done this. She's held this kind of gathering before, right?
This is her 4th.
She's just gonna
I
pass
think,
on her
perhaps
trauma?
5th.
So every time the veil, whatever you call
I'll
it,
tell you after this.
when it starts to lift,
Aphrodite's memories return, and eventually it is too much. We gather to pay our respects and to honor the past. Well, she still remembers it.
So, Jay, what happens when they pass on their Eidolon is they pass on all their memories and their essentially godhood to a new host, and that's why I was liking it to the Goa'uld from Stargate. But they don't get all the memories all at once. Think of it like taking a balloon, right, and poking a hole in it, and water slowly starts to trickle out, right? As more water applies force to that hole, the hole will, generally speaking, get bigger, right? And that's the issue with the gods here, is that when all the memories come flushing back, it's a traumatic experience, and they lose. Yeah, it's kind of mean to give it to someone else, exactly. But like they lose a big chunk of their personality, because the memories and of who came before them takes over, right? So what Aphrodite is doing here is she's preemptively picking a new host before that happens, so she doesn't have to relive all the trauma. It is mean to give it to someone else, but these people are prepared for it in advance. Whereas Grace, it was kind of sprung on her because Calliope had gotten herself stabbed and showed up at her door. So, like, the new hosts generally know what they're in for, right? So, you know, for certain definitions, yeah, it's kind of mean, but, like, you know, they kind of know what they're getting into.
do you support what Aphrodite is doing here?
It's not my choice to make, Grace.
Yeah, but you must have an opinion.
Eventually you will remember what we
Truth.
experienced during the war. And eventually you will remember that what Aphrodite experienced was far worse. If this is the mercy she requires, I will not tell her she should not take it.
Wait. Persephone said Calliope always refused to come to these parties.
She refused on principle. Everything Calliope did was on principle. She believed Aphrodite was indulging her sadness, wallowing in it. She thought Aphrodite should try harder. It was a point of contention between them. Aphrodite will be grateful you're here. Trust me.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't like it.
I don't know, Apollo. I don't like the whole idea.
You want her help, don't you?
Yes, but
At least speak with Aphrodite before you make a final decision. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
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 Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Go talk to Eros. Got it.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
I do think it should be processed instead of passed on, but I don't know what she went through. I might be misremembering, but we do have a journal. And we can go find Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, and I can believe it. She has that sparkle when you look at her. Like she's one of those old-time movie stars, all glamour presence. I bet if she walks into a room, everyone stops what they're doing to stare at her. Why she's part of the chorus, I have no idea. She seemed kind of quiet and sad, like she's busy writing some teary ballad in her head, not really listening to what's going on around her. If you don't know yet, don't. Oh, you don't know yet? Yes, but Jay didn't catch the first one, so I'll just read her this journal entry. I know what the answer is. I think I remember what the answer is. If Aphrodite sees Pine Callie's death, then she hides it super well. Maybe you just naturally know how to be a great actress after 1,000 years or so. How would I know? I guess Aphrodite is throwing some kind of party. Persephone thinks I should go, since Aphrodite knows everyone who's anyone and might be able to help me. She's being kind of vague about what the party's about, though. Should I be worried? I went to Aphrodite's party, and it was less of a party and more of a funeral. I guess Aphrodite never quite got over her terrible experience during the war, so now she passes on her Eidolon every 20 years or so in order to forget what happened to her for a while. The entire thing sounds really macabre, but a lot of other idols seem okay with it. Everyone, except for Calliope, it seemed. Alright, let's talk to Eros. But the cool thing about this, Jay, is as you play through, the journal will update with things that you learn.
Grace.
Hey, Eros. Nice to... Oh. Okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
So I'm told, are you okay?
Are you okay? You seem a bit...
Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
This happens a lot. I don't like this at all. It's okay. How often does this happen, Eros?
From the sounds of it, this happens a
At
lot.
jail.
Every 20 years.
Alright, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna stretch. I'll see you guys in about 80 seconds. That way, anyone that is in ad jail won't miss anything. Okay. Welcome back from ad jail.
Or so. That's how long she can hold out until she just can't stand it anymore. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Alright, what happened to Aphrodite? Is there no other way?
Is there no other way? Does Aphrodite really need to...
To die? I've asked that so many times. She's tried magic, drugs, psychotherapy, meditation, everything we could possibly think of. For a while, she'll deny anything's wrong. It all seems fine, and I start to hope. Maybe this time will be different. Then the nightmares begin, and the memories return. More with each passing day until... I hate it, but I see her agony. I can't deny her this.
Yeah, isn't
Maybe
she
I just
essentially
don't
committing
understand,
suicide?
but- Isn't this, like, suicide?
Some of the idols have committed suicide. They let themselves die without passing on their eidolon.
What happens?
What you'd expect. They're gone.
Forever.
Forever. Mother says she can't do that. She won't. Not until she sees Hephaestus again, I suspect. Not that what's happening here is anything casual. She still has to die. For a while.
Okay, so what happened?
Is it okay if I ask what happened?
Here you go, Jay.
I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite.
Enjoy your
not
lurkies.
me. It's not my story to tell.
Have a good sleep, Stony. What could I do? What if I could help? I can't ask her, you're right. What if I could help?
If I know what she was dealing with, I might be able to help.
Could you? I suppose it wouldn't hurt. What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jackbooted mortals, so full
That's
of
fair.
themselves and their supremacy.
Gotta wind down before bed. I'm
And he told
glad
them
that you're
about the
getting to
idols.
bed earlier, though, now that you're, you gotta be in
Then
office
they
for the
came for
morning,
us.
right? You know,
Took us
maybe
completely by
maybe you
surprise.
start a hybrid work week and you
Some
do
they
mornings from
killed,
home or something. You
but
can stay a bit
Aphrodite-
later, but I think if you gotta be in
How they
the office by 8, getting up
captured-
at like 6:30, 7 o'clock is probably
Oh.
fair.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks, Rain. We're gonna get ourselves a stuffed squirrel and read some more books. Did Aphrodite escape? You don't seem to approve. Did Aphrodite?
Aphrodite
escape?
was captured, but she's here now.
Yeah, that's
So
what you were
she
saying to your
must have
wife earlier, right?
escaped.
she didn't. Do you know the name
All right.
Hephaestus?
See you later, Heavy. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh, wasn't he a smith of some kind? Giant hammer
Yeah,
that lived in
she
a
was.
mountain?
Some of that is mortal fancy, but yes. He was Aphrodite's husband, and he adored her beyond reason. When he found out the mortals were torturing her, he went mad.
It
He was
does.
determined to save her.
Nuggies.
Wait, they tortured her?
Nothing extreme, I'm told. They were too frightened, but they were also determined to wring every last secret out of her. So, who knows how long that fear would have lasted. Thus, Hephaestus made a deal.
With the, jackbooted guys.
No, with their enemies. That's what saved her.
Empty. I'll be right back.
Then this deal is how Aphrodite survived.
It's how we all survived. It's what brought us to the new world. Hephaestus saved us all. We never saw him again. That was the deal. He would leave, make their precious weapons, and never look back. Aphrodite never even got to say goodbye. It's funny, because Aphrodite didn't even like Hephaestus.
Not to
when they were
minimize
married.
it, they all similar things. That's
Seemed
true.
to resent every minute they were together.
All these gods are going through the same kinds of problems. That is
Now
correct.
he's all she can think about.
You don't seem to approve. I want to stop this.
Maybe I shouldn't ask, but is there any way to change Aphrodite's mind?
You say that as if I haven't tried. If only... She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration. Could you use it to inspire her?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I'll try.
It's
If
still
you
her
think it'll do
choice
some
after
good.
all.
I don't know if it will. I just find it hard to believe it could get any worse.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it. Do whatever you think is right, Grace. And thank you.
You're welcome, Eros. Alright, what's up, Paul? I hate you, but you might have useful information.
I know all these people, Grace. For as long as I can remember, I've known them. Yet sometimes I feel like I don't know any of them at all. Or they me.
Has he been useful? No, but he might have useful information. See, he's the god of prophecy. He knows more than he's telling me. So, he might have useful information. Will he give it to me? Likely not.
I spoke to Eros. He's pretty broken up over all this.
Oh, poor Eros. Each new successor, his hopes rise up once more. And then he watches the new Aphrodite crumble. Piece by piece. Only to start all over again.
Hey, Moody.
It's so different from the olden days.
How was making a new emote?
Once he was the eternal
How's it going?
disaster,
You need help?
and Aphrodite kept constant vigil over him.
Maybe he feels like he owes her.
I think he's followed her into a dark void, and somewhere, deep down, believes he deserves no better.
It was frustrating and fun at the same time, but you made it, right? You got your cozy emote now?
You don't enjoy these family gatherings, do you?
Are they family
Cute.
gatherings? Like the sort mortals have?
You call each other sister and brother and mother.
Little green blankie.
Well, yes, but
And you've been together like 100 times longer than I lived with my family. All you're missing is a drunk uncle everyone has to apologize for.
that would be Pan. But yes, I
It's
feel
good.
very much out of place.
We're doing good here. Yes, this is my first playthrough, but I've seen Levy play it through. So I know all the story stuff.
That's kind of sad.
What is?
Spending an eternity among people you can't even stand to be with at a party.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner on. I'm dying right now, guys.
Now I need another
And as
drink.
much as we joke about it,
I
no
should get
shirt
back
this
out
stream.
there.
Please do, don't overuse it. So here's the problem. I live in an 800-foot condo, so it's not huge, right? My office is like right beside my front door. The air conditioner is right by the balcony. So like it doesn't take that long to cool down. It is 80 degrees in here. I'm sitting beside the computer that's throwing off a whole bunch of heat. So I've just cranked it down to 70 and we'll see where we end up. Making Colin wear the leather jacket? Let me tell you, Jay, if we're still doing this in the winter, I will make a redeem where I go open a window, so I have to wear the leather jacket. My AC vent is right next to me, so if I make it hot in here, I still have cold air blowing directly on it. Yeah, exactly. But, like, if I get that 6-foot desk that I've been talking about, right? My tower won't be right beside me. It'll be another 2 feet over, right? And that'll help alleviate this problem. It's that I'm sitting beside the computer that's throwing off all the heat, I think is the issue. Maybe it's not the entire issue, but it will definitely help, you know? We just talked to Apollo. We wait for Aphrodite. Alternately, I could just go get my fan out of my bedroom. I'm stone rated into red.
My family. Having you all here, gathered once again to see me off, it moves me. More than I can say. My loves. My darlings, my dearest.
Yeah, that's who I've got up.
And you.
I don't know who I'm not counting as a
my
viewer
dear
as.
sweet
Likely
you.
myself.
I dare not hope that you,
And,
with all your troubles, might sing me to my sleep.
Actually, I can force that.
Yet here you are.
I can force it that
Yet
it
here
won't
she
count me.
is. Huh.
Okay, so I'm a viewer for Red and Moon, but not for me. And if anyone ever wants to know how to do that, if you're trying to tab people, if you click on the little 3 dots at the top right corner of your chat and pop out your chat, so you're only viewing chat, no video, no audio, you will count as a chat viewer, but not an actual viewer for any algorithm. The issue with doing it this way is that I don't have access to any of my mod dashboard stuff. But I will count as a viewer to support Red and Moon, so that's the trade-off we're going to make today. You could have invited me. Nice to meet you again. Can we talk in private?
I was hoping we might have a chance to talk.
Oh, but we are talking, are we not?
I mean the two of us, in private.
And abandon my guests
Yes, Queen.
when I've just arrived. I have so many farewells to make.
Is this Grace, my lady? The new muse?
Oh, what manners I have. Grace, Grace, meet the lovely mortal woman who shall tonight become the new me.
Hi, my name's Venus, and yes, it really is Venus. Nice to meet you, Grace.
I'm inclined to quit stream and continue hanging out here. That's entirely your call, Moon. If you're having fun playing and making emotes and stuff, you should definitely keep doing it, right? Like, don't worry too much about this. I'll be around all day tomorrow to hang out, because I'm doing the Castlevania in the morning for Wreckage, and then we're doing who knows what in the evening. Right? So, like, we can hang out tomorrow. I'll be around Thursday, you know? You don't gotta quit your stream just to hang out with me. You okay with this? You were chosen? Yeah,
Hi.
Explain yourself.
I have to admit, it'll be weird watching this happen the proper way.
Because I'm chosen?
Yeah, I wasn't. Not like this, anyhow.
Yeah, Lady Aphrodite.
Oh,
told me.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. That sounds awful.
There will be so much time for you lovelies to speak later. Now, we must prepare for my departure.
Mythology is weird because they call each other brother, sister, and uncle and all that. So, give me a second. Because we've got the Ultimate Encyclopedia of Mythology sitting right here on my desk, because why wouldn't we? Wait, Jamie doesn't want to hang out with you, Moon? I did not say that, Zone. I was saying that she doesn't have to end stream just to hang out with me. Greek and Roman. Now you're asking me about Apollo and Persephone. Paul is the daughter of Leto, and Persephone is the daughter of Demeter. Oh, sorry, Eros. Who really isn't listed in here at all. Hercules, Perseus, Helen, Polydocles, Castor, Dionysus, Calliope, Leo, Erato, Thalia, Urania. No, not Persephone. This is Aphrodite. Okay. Aphrodite. Athena, Uranus, Thalia, Calliope, Erato, Clea, Atropes, Theros, Hebe, Ares, and interestingly enough, neither of them are listed here. So let me look at the index real quick. Well, now I'm mildly curious, so I'm actually invested in this. For anyone that was curious how small the font is in this book, though, and that's why I'm like leaning over and squinting. This is what I'm dealing with looking at the index. So it will take a little bit of doing for me to figure it out. Because my eyes don't work too good. See you later, Moon. Amphion, Amphitheatre, Amrita. Aphrodite, page 20. Aphrodite was the Greek goddess of beauty and love and fertility, unlike her Roman counterpart Venus, with whom she was identified. Aphrodite was not only a sexual name is uncertain, though the ancient Greeks can believe foam. First was this belief arose from the story of Aphrodite's birth, when the Titan Kronos cut off the planets of his father Uranus with a sharp sickle. He cast a mortal member into the sea, where it floated with white foam. Okay, so Aphrodite is the daughter of a Titan. So Aphrodite would be on the same level as Zeus in that scenario, where Zeus was also not listed as having a mother and or a father. Eros. Eros, page 22. And Eros is 24, 22. Lovers of Zeus. Gnosis, Danae. 36. See, I like when you guys ask me these things because I get to go learn something too, right? Daedalus, Danae, Daphne. Greek tradition with son of Eros and the night. So Erebos is listed here. Erebos was... I saw that name earlier. Ares, Demeter, Persephone, Apollo, Artemis, Athena, Leto, Meti, Arena, Thalia, Erato. My interpretation of this, and answers vary as to who Eros' parents are, even according to this book, but Aphrodite would be, at best, his, like, his aunt by marriage. They are not directly related. unless you consider like Zeus and Aphrodite cousins. Then I would probably describe their relationship as like cousin twice removed. I don't know if that's helpful. Yes, he might call her mom just because their relationship in game is different. Because they keep dying and rebirthing. They have different parental figures in their lives, right? I do know that they talk about kind of the relationship the first time you meet Eros, because you can ask him about it, but I don't remember specifically the information he gives you.
Are you sure we can't talk first? I really need your help, Aphrodite.
I know you do, my dear. I wish I could be there for you, but I'm afraid my time is up. But since you've shown such kindness in coming, I will ask Eros to make himself available to you afterwards. There's nothing I know that he does not. He is my son, my truest friend, my longest love.
Won't he be a little distracted?
Eros has been through this before, Grace. He knows what must be done.
She said she took them in and raised them, so she was stayed by her side instead of taking of her. Yeah, so like, in this incarnation of both of them, like she is the mother figure to him, even if that was several Aphrodite cycles before, because she does this about every 20 years, right? We're unclear on how long this current Eros has been Eros.
I have to admit, it's not clear what my part in all this is supposed to be.
How could it be? You've barely just arrived, darling girl. How did you even find out about it?
That would be Persephone's doing.
Apollo! Oh, you've come after all.
You look remarkably well, cousin.
I've had a great deal of time to prepare. I assure you that would not be the case. As for you, Grace, have you gathered the true purpose of tonight's gathering?
Alright, to remember, to forget, I don't know, any excuse for a party?
If I had to guess, it's to remember. One last time before all your memories go away.
Each time the veil lifts, it leaves behind a little less. For me, old Olympus is long forgotten. The glory of Rome, a distant dream. I hope that one day the veil will lift and what happened during the war will also slip into oblivion.
But it hasn't.
Thus, for now we honor the memory of what was, lest tomorrow it be gone forever. Go, enjoy the gathering, Grace. Tell me when you're ready to begin.
So, if we just leave and we're never ready, what happens? Hey, Venus, we're gonna be friends. What do you know, Venus? You can't
I should
leave. I see
apologize,
that.
Grace. Saying that I was chosen like I'm somehow more special, I really didn't mean it that way. I hope you can... I'm sorry.
What happens if we push Venus through one of these windows?
Lady Aphrodite said I'm ready, but I don't know.
Having second thoughts? If so, now's probably the time to mention it.
I would never do that to Lady Aphrodite. I'm just nervous.
That's understandable.
If I can ask, what does it feel like?
You want to kill
after
Venus?
It happens?
Well,
Do you feel
No.
different?
I'm asking hypothetically, what happens if Aphrodite doesn't have a new host? Because she's not just going to die and lose her Eidolon, right? Oh my god, thank god I wasn't eating.
I'm not sure. It happened so fast, I didn't know what to think. Calliope died, and then all this happened.
You didn't remember anything
Ads.
about her?
She just picks a new one.
who
Yes,
she was?
but she needs time to prepare one.
She was just gone?
Yeah. Isn't that the point of all this?
I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it could be real.
How do you know, Aphrodite? You're okay with this? Your name is really Venus?
Your name's really Venus, huh?
Everybody asks me that. Even the other idols. Maybe that's why Lady Aphrodite noticed me in the first place. She says it was fated to be. I say it's because my mama was a diehard hippie.
How do you know Aphrodite?
How do you know Aphrodite exactly?
So I was working at this homeless shelter, right? A couple of years ago, and she came in with one of the older residents. And she was there in this, like, amazing dress. And she's sitting with this guy and really listening to him. Like, they were old friends or something. I just thought,
That's how long it takes.
what is someone like her doing in a place like this? So, I just went
Yeah.
over and introduced myself.
That's it? Just like that.
Yeah. She came back to the shelter a few times, but by then, I guess she'd taken an interest in me instead.
And you're
Are
okay with
you
this?
really okay with all this? You know what's gonna happen, right?
I saw a lot of people in crisis at the shelter. I knew something was wrong with Lady Aphrodite. She's in so much pain, Grace. She won't let you see how much. Eros called me one night desperate. She wouldn't stop screaming. She didn't know where she was. She's a good person, Grace.
Is she?
A good soul.
Is she?
She deserves mercy.
Does it count as harming another idol if you put idol pushing her? No. She is immortal. She is not an idol yet. Not a crime. By definition, I did not harm another idol.
But don't you feel this is wrong? I mean, you're ending your life. It's like some kind of murder-suicide pact.
I don't think of it like that. Lady Aphrodite is not committing suicide, and I'm not being murdered.
I've seen it in the other
Aren't you?
definition.
Your life is ending. It's being taken over, swallowed up by Aphrodite's grief.
I'm becoming part of something big.
I think that it would depend on the timing. If I do it right now, yes, there's malicious intent. I have committed murder, and Aphrodite's mad at me, right? But no crime was actually perpetrated by their definition because she is not an idol. Therefore, the question becomes, what if I'm pushing her out the window, and in that split second, Aphrodite gives Venus the Eidolon, right? Now, she's already on her way out the window in that scenario. So, if she goes through the window and gets harmed, have I injured another idol? By definition, yes. But is it also Aphrodite's fault for passing on the Eidolon in that moment? If by definition that is true, then Aphrodite has harmed another idol. The idol she harmed is herself. It still counts as a regular murder. Killing a prince is still treason even if he didn't kill the king himself. That's different and the same, Jay. And I will speak as to that in a second. But no one knows where the body came from. So here's the thing. Your king example, if I kill the king, it is very, very clearly defined as regicide. Now, regicide would also include, let's say that the prince is a minor. Let's say the prince is 8 years old or whatever. And the king dies in the war or whatever. No murder involved, nothing murky there. So the prince is the ruler of the kingdom. But the prince isn't an adult, so can't rule the kingdom himself. So a regent is put into place. Usually his mother. If the mother is also gone, aunt, uncle, trusted advisor, whoever. Now, if I kill whoever's in charge of making decisions or advising the prince, it is still regicide, because I have killed the regent to the future king. or they are the king, even though they're still a minor, right? You can be king and still not have your coronation for a number of years. So like regicide would still be a thing. Now, if I go up, the king is still in place and the prince is there, it is not regicide if I murder the prince, because the prince is not regent or leader of the realm. That is just straight up murder. Murder of the royalty probably has a greater penalty in many countries, so I can't advise doing that. But you know, it's the same but different, right? What we're doing here, similar, but once again, not quite the same, because she isn't the prince. She is the chosen heir to Aphrodite. Okay, Lurk is over. Bed calls. Night Stony. We're talking about regicide anyway. It's probably not something interesting to you right now. Is killing innocent girl any better than what Eros is doing? What is Eros doing? Eros is trying to convince us to convince Aphrodite not to go through with it. So I would say that murdering Venus is the wrong call, because murder still wrong. Now Venus is consenting to receive the Eidolon, so like everything is kosher there, right? Oh, I meant Aphrodite. I mean, nothing wrong with Aphrodite. Think about the choice. Yes, Aphrodite is willing to give up her life and pass on her Eidolon, and Venus is willing to give up her life and receive the Eidolon. So both parties are consenting. This is a two-consent transaction. So I see no real wrong with it. Before I go, I have no idea what's going on in the story, but more murder is more good. So kill them all. We cannot kill the gods. One god is already dead. It's a murder mystery, actually. But yes, I would say that Aphrodite did no wrong in the scenario, even though we ethically disagree, because both parties are consenting. Because remember, morality and ethics, I mean, ethics are technically black and white. Morality has gray areas. So morally, what is relative to us is the wrong choice of allowing this to happen is morally okay to Aphrodite and Venus because they're both consenting. 0 to 10, unkillable gods, game unplayable. Well, you make your own game and you can kill whoever you like.
Something amazing. Or maybe you're right. It'll be terrible, and I'll end up in so much pain I'll regret it.
So why go through with it?
Because Lady Aphrodite needs me. Maybe, just maybe, if I'm added into the mix of all the people she's been...
Go to bed, Stone.
maybe
Yeah,
things
exactly.
will be
Get up, Stone.
different.
Alright, what's Paul got to tell us? What's up, dude, bro?
Back again.
I don't think I'll have a chance to talk to Aphrodite. Not before, you know.
Not surprising. Surely Persephone must have realized that.
How? She's never been to one of these things. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'd do now.
You have two choices, Grace. Either you do as she asks and sing her to her rest,
At which point Venus won't have Aphrodite's memories yet.
or you somehow convince her to remain with us and hope she's grateful.
Stone is
And
rolling
doesn't
out.
regret it. Or get
Because I wanna
angry at
walk
me for
again.
ruining her party.
Do what you feel is right. It's a risk either way.
Have you met Venus?
Have you spoken with Venus? She seems really...
Nice, earnest, a genuinely good person.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's not an accident. Ever since the war, Aphrodite has sought out the kindest, the most innocent souls to be her successors. She chooses them because she believes that over time, it might make her a better person. A more worthy person.
Wouldn't it be better if she chose people who were, I don't know, more resilient?
I suppose that depends on your definition of strength, Grace.
I should get back out there.
Alright. let's get on with this.
I have tried so hard, fought for so long, but in the end, I must bid you all farewell once again. But before I go, I would like us all to remember the sacrifices that brought us here to this strange new world. This time, it is with the help of our lovely muse that we shall be guided. We let them rise. We let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Since the beginning we were hidden. We held court from up above. 'Twas the golden age of reason, and I the queen of love. But a plague of hate was spreading, and there were vultures standing by. Before we fell to our knees begging, we fell from the sky. We let them rise, we let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Our so-called brother Ares sold his soul forevermore. He so loved the military. He became their dog of war. He denounced his loving family, and with mortal guns and greed, on a plate gladly delivered everything that war dogs need. He betrayed us and we let him, and with them mortal souls long gone. We thought we were untouchable. We were wrong. We were wrong. Oh, the power of the idols pounds within your chest. But for now I am in mourning for a love gone unexpressed. He was harder than a chisel. I was a horrid block of ice. A winter's chill that stayed until he made his sacrifice. The man that I ignored saved me when I fell. Yes, the husband I abhorred rescued me from hell. I thought it was a joke when he said to me, he struck a deal with our enemy's enemy. Made a secret weapon so my captors let me go. He gave up his freedom, leaving just a memory. And this love I'll never know is what he gave to me.
I can see everything. It's interesting why you feel so blue. Because of the horror show from long ago. There ain't no getting through. A husband who sacrificed and paid the price for you to be free. Wherever he is right now, you think somehow that. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm on a roll. I don't pretend to know the mind of a god. That's something I never thought I'd say. I'm not the only one here who wants to know. Is leaving now the only way to go?
confused. Who are you? Thank you for sharing, little one. You're 80 years overdue. Now take your seat, you've had your fun. I think you'll find I'm a god. Making note of the staggering lack of help. And so, no matter what you think you know, this ceremony is the only way to go.
Don't you write anything down? Is there a statue of Hephaestus in town? Or is history just a record that slowly gathers dust? You gotta turn it up loud so the player doesn't rust. Because I find the story so unique. I'll sing in plain speak. You rest, leaves the rest of your family stressed and depressed. They repress, so we'll only digress. I'm impressed by the sense of occasion, I guess. But this mess of a quest to possess is grotesque. It's happened to me, and I'll never know when Calliope inside of me surfaces. So I request for your guest to reassess the process. And unless you address all this copy excess, we'll continue to guess. While you repress, I won't be impressed until I change my best. I'm out. Sometimes taking a breath's the only way to go. Considering the options left, it's the only way to go. What is the only way to go?
I'm stunned by the arrogance, but eloquence sparks something in me. If you honestly can promise me all the help I need, I'll be the kind of guy you'll worship and adore like before. Thank you, Venus, a brilliant cameo.
And together we will face it, 'cause forgetting won't erase it. Moving on's the only way to go. The only way to go.
Mother, is it true? You've chosen to...
Live. I have chosen to live. I'm so sorry, Venus. I made you so many promises, dearest, and I won't be able to keep them.
My lady, all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. If this is your wish, I'll be with you at
Oh, that was
every
fast.
step.
Oh, yay!
I as well. Always.
I hope none of us regret this choice in the days to come. But thank you.
Okay. Okay. I really hope this isn't worse. This will work out. You promised help.
I really don't want to press, but you had said before that we could talk afterwards.
I don't think this is the time to talk...
It's fine, my love. I owe Grace so much, and her need is great. No doubt regarding Calliope's death? Have you any suspicions as to who might be responsible?
I thought Medusa summoned the reliquary. I have a theory.
Not exactly,
game
but it
theory.
has to be an idol. One with influence.
Oh? What makes you think that?
It had to be someone who knew Calliope and wanted her gone, with enough knowledge and power to fool the chorus. It also had to be someone who could get into the reliquary and attack her there, right under the noses of both Hecate and the Minotaur.
The Minotaur has a name. Yeah, game theory.
Calliope came to see us that night. She was agitated, frightened, even. She didn't explain why.
She said she had a plan. It must have been the reliquary.
She was frightened, so she knew this was gonna happen. It wasn't a surprise.
It was clear she was involved in something. I just thought it was one of her schemes.
If only we'd known she intended to go to the reliquary. How on earth did she even get in?
She used the key, the one Pan gave her. When Calliope arrived, she dropped it. Then she laughed and said she'd better not lose it because Pan won't give me another key to the reliquary. I didn't know it was important.
Well, there's your help, Grace. I can't give you any better.
Come now, Mother. It's time you rested.
Freaking bread.
been
Yeah,
a long
exactly.
night.
Get out of here, Apollo. And Pan.
If I don't, I suppose you'll both hang up on me again.
Look, let me say, boys are the worst. Boys are ruining this for all of us.
So, did they have anything helpful?
He might be innocent. It makes no sense. Seems
I
so.
gave him every opportunity to tell me. He said he didn't know what happened to Calliope.
Right? Like, they actively
Just
don't
because he
help
gave
us.
her the key.
It's
doesn't
not like they
necessarily make that
accidentally
lie.
forgot to not tell us something.
Doesn't it? I thought you suspected him.
I
What-
like
What
boys.
side are you on?
I'm not on any side. I'm just trying to be objective. Are you all right, Grace?
You hear that?
You
Jay
seem
likes
troubled.
me. Aphrodite went through so much. I'm thinking of Kaleidoscope memories.
What Aphrodite went through, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the life of an immortal. It never ends.
Wow. Way to really sell it, Apollo.
How are things with Persephone? Is she helping as much as you thought?
Yes, but I'm not sure why. I like her. I like her.
Yeah.
She's cute.
I kind of like her.
I mean, I still like
Way
Brad.
more than I
That
thought I
doesn't
would.
make me
Why?
mean he don't
All I need
suck.
to ask is, has she said anything?
About...
No. Never mind. It's none of my business. Please forget I asked. Give my regards to Persephone when you see her.
All right, Apollo. Can do. I don't think anyone likes Apollo. Apollo's a dick.
Apollo. Always so dramatic. And well done, by the way. You may be the very first person ever to talk sense into Aphrodite.
All right. You kept things from me. Don't joke. Did I do the right thing?
I still don't know if I did the right thing.
Well, it was never up to you, Grace. The choice has always been Aphrodite's. Look at it this way. At least she has a chance now. And whether she uses it, we'll see. I remember the last time I passed on my Eidolon. 1952.
We were being gaslit by
I
all
was
the gods,
married
aren't we?
to, well,
That option kept
so
you.
you'd call him a
You kept
gangster.
things from me. Yeah,
More
exactly.
of a thug. A
But like,
mean,
think about it. Think
vicious
about it this
little
way.
thug. Persephone saved you from
I'm
it.
not.
Tore
I
his
don't
head
hate that
clean off.
from a story
But
standpoint
not before he
because
fired a shot.
they all have their own motivations, right?
My chest?
You know, they are not singularly black and white characters.
Do you remember who you were before?
I still am her. Chastity, that is. You can see why I switched names. I remember being disgusted I was ever that weak. Persephone made me strong. But it never really goes away. We all have our sordid history, our personal horrors, building up like sediment around our souls. You can't let it bury you, Grace. You are the only one who can keep your head afloat.
You're incredible.
You're incredible. You know that?
There's no need to be facetious, Grace.
No, really.
I am
Smoocher.
incredible.
Smoocher.
It's true. It's good that you recognize this.
Okay, I take it back.
Oh, you can't take it back, Grace.
Smooch.
I would have thought
smooch,
you'd learned that
smooch,
by now.
Smooch. 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 Oh. Singing time.
After
Centuries of cruel injustice. Everybody working against me.
every idol but for one,
Violent with apathy.
We couldn't
We reach our resolution. You and I. You and I. Queen of the underworld. And you, Grace. Something seems familiar. Oh, you. Have we met some lifetime ago?
Gods like me don't have too much to hope for. The rules been fixed throughout the ages. So I have forged a daring path. I would like to make some changes. You see, we can win a revolution. You and I. You and I. I'm queen of the underworld. And you, Grace. Your lost little girl. The first time we met, you called me that. And now I understand. Show it or not, I see your heart. You've got one big mouth on you, don't you? Yet it's me who's closing in. Think I like that mouth on you, won't you? You've overstayed your welcome.
Tease.
Time to go home.
Persephone's a tease. We don't like
Get
her
out of here,
anymore.
Grace.
Rude. Rude. Please yell at me more.
You've returned. I'm glad. I've had time to do some thinking. After Aphrodite's party, we never really spoke about the Eidolon and Calliope's memories. No doubt you have many questions.
Apollo told me a little about it. He did say I should talk to you, though.
Did he now? Is
Jay,
there anything
my
you'd
entire
like to
life is
ask?
sexual tension. I don't need more of it in my video game. How many times have you
How many
died?
times
That's a
have
rather
you
personal
died?
question.
Can I ask that?
We call it passing on. I've lost track of just how many times I've passed on my Eidolon. A dozen? It's happened less often in more recent eras.
And the one you told me about, the woman married to that gangster? She was the most recent?
I don't think of Chastity as a she. That was me, just as the one my husband blasted with a shotgun was also me. It was one of the few times I wasn't able to prepare my successor. We were friends, yes, but I didn't know what Persephone was, and I had no idea what I'd just become.
That must have been difficult.
It was more difficult taking over my dead husband's territory. Women weren't often mobsters in those days.
Will I feel different as I change?
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
Will I feel different about my
First, you'll
changing
have
body?
dreams. places you've never been, people you've
Puberty
never met.
is a wondrous change.
But unlike with normal dreams,
Your body
these
will go through a
linger.
myriad of changes,
Then they will come while you're
etc.,
awake.
etc.
Sudden flashes or snippets of deja vu. And sometimes it will seem so real you'll swear you're
I
hallucinating.
think I'm funny, Levy.
If there's anything difficult about the process, is that it becomes hard to differentiate between your life and all these other lives you're now recalling.
It does sound confusing.
Confusing and often unpleasant, as not all the memories will be fond ones. But that will pass in time.
Where I remember my
You
own
said it
life?
becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others.
Encore. You want me to sing
How
more?
hard, exactly. It'll still be me, right?
Oh, how do I explain this?
Wait, Jay, are you saying encore to
Would
the
you
singing
say
or
that
encore
you
to
are
the
who
talking
you
about
are
puberty?
Because of your experiences, the things you've lived and done.
I guess
Because
so,
those are
sure.
two different things
Well,
I
all
could
the
be doing
things
right now.
Calliope has done,
I mean, you stand-up
and those
comedy.
before her will now be yours. They will feel like a
Okay,
part of
you guys
your
want stand-up
life as
comedy?
well.
I got this.
Thus, they can't help but shape you. The Grace that is now will be
Hey, you in
and
the
will
front
have
row.
done
Where you from?
So much more. Fortunately, you don't have to deal with every memory. Each time the Eidolon passes on,
I can
the
walk around with
oldest
a
memories
microphone.
fade, and that helps.
We have that option. Texas. I don't have any topical jokes about Texas. Arizona. I don't got real jokes, guys. I was not prepared for this. But let me tell you. Why do they call it airplane food if it's not made out of airplanes? I'm here. Sorry, not in chat. Just freaking exhausted. That's fair. It's late, Rain. Arizona, that means you are mountain time, which means it's like 11:30 for you. Well, I gave you an easy one. This tracks. But shh. All right. I mean, I could tell jokes. Oh my god, it's 1:30. Yeah, it is. The heck. I live in... Yeah, I was assuming GA was Georgia. I can't name all the states. We learned that once upon a time. In my first 24-hour stream, I attempted to name all the states. After I finished, someone told me that some of the things I named weren't states, they were cities. So what do I know about anything? You usually don't sleep till 4. Depends where in Arizona, so for the Pacific Standard. Weird. The states are weird shapes. Today was a lot. Now I'm toast. That's fair, Rain. Not every day's gonna be easy. There's a song to remember. So Rain, I'm exhausted because A, I worked a morning shift today, and I'm not really a morning person, and B, our fire alarms broke, and they went off like 12, 13 times this morning, and no one knew if there was a real fire until the fire department showed up and disabled the system and put us on fire watch. So that was stressful this morning. Just A, constantly having the alarm going off, and B, trying to figure out whether or not there was a fire going on anywhere. The United States. I love my country, the United States. California, Arizona, Hawaii, Tennessee. Definitely got those lyrics wrong, though. No, Jay, you gotta serenade me now. The stream does not go on until I get serenaded. That's the rule now. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. Or something. I guess I make them up and enforce them in that scenario, but, Jay, call him and sing to him. I can't sing on chat. Okay, I got this. Discord. Discord. Okay, I would, but Mr. J would think it's weird. Rain will sing. Discord won't launch, guys. I don't think this is happening right now. I'll sing from my room. I can call you on Discord. I'm not above using you for content right now. End task. Relaunch Discord. Okay, there we go. We're relaunching Discord. You hear me singing. I have to explain why I'm singing to a guy on the internet at 1:30 a.m. You can just be like, I was singing to Strawberry. You were trying to teach Strawberry the States. And then he'll be like, why? You'll be like, 'cause Strawberry's kind of dumb. Alright, Rain. Call. OBS. Discord audio. Wherefore did I put my Discord audio? Hold up one, I gotta change the setting on OBS to actually capture the voice call now. Because Discord does audio super weird. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay.
Good, stream can hear you.
I'm literally only gonna sing for like 10 seconds.
That's fine.
Okay.
They were promised singing.
And I'm so tired, so I'm not actually gonna even sing.
I mean, did you hear me sing? I don't do a good job at either, so.
Okay. Alright. This is a song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on. My friends, some people started singing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is a song that never ends. Okay, I'm done.
Alright, thank you for making a cameo on my stream. I appreciate it. Because it's the internet, and as long as everyone's consenting, everything's content, right?
Yes.
But remember, as long as everyone's consenting, do not make people do things. As I say when I'm calling people at like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye-bye. Ask me earlier in the day and I'll sing for you. Alright, you heard it here. Jay's gonna sing on stream tomorrow. And, you called 3 times while I was streaming last night. I sure did, and you answered 0 other times. But you told me to serenade you, and then you wouldn't answer the call, so whose fault is that? Or was I gonna read you? No. I called Fen to read lore about Loki. I don't remember why I called you, Levy. Was I trying to serenade you? Oh, I was also going to read to you. Oh, because you were saying that you were going to redeem 25,000 channel points to make me read to you. Which is a channel point redeem. I will call you and read to you. I don't know why we needed this as a channel point reward, but someone requested it at some point. I don't have the points anymore until tomorrow, probably. Are you really a gangster?
Are you really a gangster? I've heard it said, but it sounds...
Let me put it this way. I felt as if I'd been blessed by a dying woman who saved me from a prison of my own making. I didn't know what I was, but I was free. I felt more alive than I'd ever felt before, and strong enough to toss an ox 10 feet. Did I set out to become a mobster? Not exactly. My husband's friends thought I'd murdered him, however, so they came after me. And one thing led to another.
Oh, I see.
Athena found me just as my memories were starting to return. I wasn't permitted to continue doing something so noticeable, so I was carted off to Olympus.
Is that why it came up?
It's too bad, really.
I
was
remember.
An excellent mobster.
So it's all really weird to me, you know? I don't know why everyone has a great interest in me reading to them.
Wait, how is it good that old memories start to fade?
Think of how old we are, Grace. If all those memories returned to you with perfect clarity, they would destroy you.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Well, far more than we remember. The further I think back, the more it becomes a bit of a blur, actually. You'll recall important moments. Some will be mixed up with the stories mortals tell, and you won't be sure which is the memory and which is the story. An idol's memory is a series of islands in a dark ocean, and they become smaller and smaller as they recede into the horizon. It sounds dire, but you become accustomed to it. It just takes time. And now you have all the time in the world.
Ugh. You're a good reader. Shut up. You just made me sing. That is true, but you volunteered. I honestly don't mind reading. I think the thing that gets me about reading the whole chapter of a book is that I often don't finish the chapter before we get a second ad break in the stream. So I don't know whether I should be stopping or just uploading a recording of the chapter to YouTube after, so people can find out whatever they, 90 seconds that they missed was. But Rain, hear me out. I am giving you permission, assuming I'm not streaming at the time. If you want, I will call you on Discord during your stream and read to your audience while you crochet. And if you send me a PDF, I will just read the PDF into Discord. I will do that for you. Because I can't pay you in money, but I can pay you in a very strange set of skills. Is it possible to die forever?
Wait,
yes.
You said that Persephone passed on her
Payback,
Eidolon
yeah, exactly.
as she lay dying. What if she had just died?
The Eidolon will keep us alive for a time, even in the most horrific circumstances, in hopes that there's someone to pass it on to.
What if there isn't? What if Chastity had died before you were shot?
Well, then the line of Persephone would have ended then and there. Oh, there are some stories that say an Eidolon will go wandering, that it never really dies. And who knows if there's any truth to that. It's not exactly something we've had the opportunity to study. All we know is that many idols have left us forever. They've died, and that's how it happens.
It's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Either the trial will end poorly, in which case all of this is moot, or it will end well, and you will have plenty of time to digest.
Yeah, thanks for the update.
I'm a realist, Grace. It's what I'm best at. Now then, unless you've something else to ask?
Tell me more about the war, what happened to the other muses. Yeah, what happened to the other muses?
What happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
One of them was, though not like you think. The day we were to leave on the ship, Talia simply never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never heard from her again. Apollo thrashed about in mourning, but, Talia had been fading away for years. It wasn't a surprise to the rest of us.
What about the other muse, Cleo?
Died long before. A victim at the hands of a mortal man, when she no longer possessed the power to bedazzle him.
Interesting.
As I understand it, he kept her in a cage as a pet until her Eidolon shriveled up and perished. He was dead before she was.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
Yes, well, we come by our wariness of mortals honestly, Grace.
Okay,
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
That's putting it mildly.
From Aphrodite's song, I know
like your voice.
Ares
It's an audio.
betrayed
I
everyone.
missed that, Levy.
What
Well,
did
that
you
was the
do?
plan. I was going to upload all the chapters because I do have Vegas Pro, so it's easy for me to compile
Honestly,
video
after
together.
my mother was murdered,
But I don't
barely
have all the
remember.
chapters of this book,
Your
and I'm missing
mother.
some of the VODs for some reason.
Her name was Demeter.
And that's why I was trying so
Truly
hard to
my
have.
mother, but an idol who had
Well, this
always
is sad, but I
cared
do
for
have to
me
go to
since
bed.
the
Yeah, that's
young
fair,
days.
Jay. I will see you
I
in the
thought we'd
morning.
be together forever. And Ares brought those
Have a good
filthy
sleep.
bastards down
Pet
on
the
us.
cats for us.
Demeter was slain by bullets. by
But yes, Levy, now that
bullets.
I have the bot to
Until that
auto
day, I
record certain
believed
scenes
we
on
were
OBS and mute all audio
untouchable.
sources except for the microphone, the future books will be compiled into an audiobook for you guys if you so desire them. Why did Ares do it?
Why would Ares do that?
I'm
Did
not
he
sure
get
how busy I'll
anything
be the
out
rest
of
of the
it in
month. If
the
I don't
end,
see you,
or-
I'll be in the Discords.
what he got.
All right,
was
night,
a
Jay.
final
I'll see you
death.
around.
A few of
I'll
us
be
hunted him
around if
down
nothing else.
and made sure
Be
he
safe.
paid for his betrayal.
Take care of the cats. Take care of yourself. Stay
Choked
hydrated.
on his own blood. As for why he did it, who knows? He thought us a lost cause. He wanted glory. He wanted more than we had, living in secret. After that, I don't know. We went from hiding place to hiding place. I didn't even know what Hephaestus had done for us when I found myself on a boat. We might have been gods once, but after the war, we were just refugees, like so many others, fleeing to a distant land.
Was it hard to come to the New World? What's the deal with you and Apollo?
What's the deal between you and Apollo? The way you two fight.
I've told you how he and the other idols stood by and let me rot with Hades, did I not?
It seems more personal than that.
Okay, there's an old saying that no one escapes the underworld. But that's not true. I did. Once. Not long after Hades kidnapped me. I was homesick, and I missed my mother. Charon took pity on me and allowed me across the Styx. And after that, Grace, I waded through darkness itself to get out of there. Hades chased after me relentlessly, but I evaded him, right up until I got to the very slopes of Olympus. And who do you suppose was the first idol I met?
Uh-oh.
Apollo stood there. I cried out to him, begging him not to let Hades take me, and yet Apollo did as he has always done. Absolutely nothing. Hades was thrilled, and I knew then and there I could never rely on my so-called family for anything, ever again.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the New World? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't the place that was hard, it was the fear. We knew we were vulnerable. We knew mortals could and would kill us. Suddenly, there were rules. We had to be secret. We had to stay close together. We huddled in the shadows and quaked each time the mortals so much as breathed in our direction. We couldn't all live that way. Some of us drifted away, faded into the night without so much as an explanation. That's what's been the hard part. Our inevitable decline in a place where we don't belong. We can pass on our eidolons as often as we like, but it will never truly be home.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around?
Oh yes, that's where I'll be. Around.
Okay, Grace's apartments and talk to Persephone. What do we got here? Wifey. According to the Oracle, Persephone owns the apartment. Lowdown, things are ugly. Finally, I know the story about Hades, how Persephone murdered him. You know what? Sounds like she got exactly what he deserved. After Aphrodite's party, Apollo said something audible for Persephone. Is she hiding something from me? I don't know what to make of it. I went to see Persephone after Aphrodite's party, and in the middle of reminiscing to me about the last time she passed on her eidolon to her gangster's wife, Persephone and I had a moment. At least, I thought we did. But then she went cold again, and now I'm left wondering if I imagined it. I crossed some line with her, but which one is so weird? I'd heard it mentioned a couple times now that Persephone used to be a gangster. Apparently her eidolon was last passed on to Chastity, the wife of a mobster, who she then replaced for a while. At least until Persephone's memories returned. This was to be in what, the 1950s? Pretty crazy to think about. I finally learned a little about what Persephone and the other idols went through during the war. She told me about how Demeter died and how Ares betrayed them to the enemy. Just think, one day you believe you're a god for real, and the next you realize just how vulnerable you really are. That has to have messed with all their heads, not just Aphrodite's. Alright, let's go home. Two days before the trial.
Oh, hi, Grace. I can just call you Grace, right?
That's my name. Where's Freddie?
She went out to get snacks. We were gonna watch TV while we waited, but, well, here you are.
Wait, hold up a second. can't Hermes just use like the magic doors to teleport everywhere? Would it not be more efficient for Hermes to go get the snacks? I might be missing something, but like, are the gods just dumb in general? Is that my takeaway here?
What, you and Freddy are friends now? When did this happen?
When I came looking for you, Freddy has this movie that I've never seen. Super cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you rather not share your mortal friends? Anyway, I guess Athena wants to talk? I can zip us over to Olympus anytime, if you're free.
I feel Hermes is going through his dogs. Like, good, but has moments of derp.
So this is what you do? Ferry people around?
I'm the god of messengers, baby. Travelers, doorways, any kind of transition, really. The old Hermes said that the transition part made even more sense for me, which, you know, extra cool, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I can connect any two doorways anywhere, just like that. So it's super easy to take people wherever. I don't mind.
So I once again asked the question of why why Hermes did not go get the snacks.
You say it's easy, but do you like doing all these errands?
Huh. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's nice to have a purpose. Athena is super sweet, and she has a big, important job. Why wouldn't I want to help her out?
You can't be this nice. Are you for real?
Oh, well, the old Hermes used to say that a willingness to serve is more important than a willingness to be served.
Do I have a choice?
Do I have a choice about seeing Athena? I'm not in the habit of being at anyone's beck and call.
I mean, I guess you could say no, but I wouldn't. If Athena wants something, she's gonna get it eventually. She had that look in her eyes, like she really wants to talk to you.
She could always come here. Everyone else does.
Athena entered the mortal world? And now she doesn't do that ever. Can you imagine?
You mentioned the old Hermes a lot. You knew him?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while.
Hey, Arden.
It wasn't
you're
a great time, and he took me in.
The dog emote is not permanent. I
used to
needed
say.
it yesterday to be
Only
sassy.
the roads are different.
But do you like my little
And then
corgi?
we went on his journey. Man, I still miss him every day.
Wait, isn't he still inside you? Aren't you kind of the same person now?
Not yet. It's only been a year. Maybe I'll feel him again one day. That'd be nice.
But you're on call this week, Arden? Yeah.
How does Athena
how's
manage
being on
never
call going?
entering the mortal world?
She doesn't have to, I guess. Everyone
You
brings
just
her
got done
everything
with a
she
ticket.
needs.
That's
And at
late.
Creepy Oliver's, Apollo's
After hours
out in the
ticket.
world. It's
Womp womp.
everywhere.
I was all comfy. Yeah, I
So
bet you
what,
were.
She just never leaves
Like
the
in
building?
bed comfy or on the couch watching
She'll
a
go to the
movie comfy.
reliquary and places like that. Just never where mortals are. She wears a toga and calls cars iron horses.
I suppose there's no point in putting it off. Do your thing. Take me to Olympus.
Okay. Oh, when you see Freddy, tell her I'm sorry I couldn't stick around for the movie. And mind if I say something?
Sure.
You've changed. I mean, from the person I met when I first came here. When, you know, you got it together.
In bed
really
comfy. That's even worse. You know, it's one thing to get up off the couch to work,
Thanks,
but
I
like
guess.
get out of bed to work. Unfortunate. Hermes, of course I changed. I am a literal god now. Come on, Hermes, get it together. Choose your trait. So we're clever, ardent, charming, or kick-ass. Do I want to be in your face? This Grace is very punk and rock and not afraid to be reckless and aggressive when it's called for. This Grace is This is Grace with soul and charisma. She tries to do the right thing, and everyone likes her more for it. Kick-ass. Clever kick-ass.
There you are, Grace. Do have a seat.
I question why the owl has armor.
Thanks. As you like. You've certainly been busy, haven't you?
And like, is the armor so heavy the owl can't fly?
Including the reliquary.
You got a stressful day? You want to talk about it? You want to vent a little?
Access, but even you must have realized it's off limits, particularly for your mortal friend.
Am I not supposed to be proving my innocence? Would you prefer I did nothing?
I'd prefer you didn't break any other rules in the meantime.
Such as? Do you have a list I can read, or do you just make them up as you go?
You think our judgment was rash? It was. In truth, I worried that giving you time, letting us all get to know you, would make it harder in the end. I am sorry, Grace. You may not believe it, but I care deeply. I care about what happens to you and to all the idols.
Work is demanding. I have another friend not respecting boundaries. That sucks. Like, what's with everyone and like violating boundaries? I think the thing, and you know, I might be wrong. You know, I'm not an expert on friendship. I am often the problem. In my experience, you know, in the moment, like, I do what I think is justifiable and right, but like upon reflection later on, you know, I am the problem. But so far as boundaries go, what I often find is people complain that like people are being too stringent with their boundaries because they're not enforced from day one, right? We cater to people because we want to be friends and we want to be liked. And something that I'm learning as I get older is it's far better not to be liked and establish your boundaries from the beginning. Because if someone doesn't want to deal with, you know, your boundaries or any of that, you know, you don't end up losing a friend in the long run, you know. Because if they can't respect your boundaries from the beginning, do you really want to be friends with them? I'm starting to think maybe it's me. I'm trying to set new boundaries and people are calling me. Yeah, that is true, Levy. But like, I think that people are misinterpreting it because you're generally just so easygoing with everyone. So like, it's just a huge shock to them that you're standing up for yourself. So like, it's shitty that that this is what they want to dig in about. And I have no thoughts on that. But you know, just a sudden change in what the expectation is tough for some people, right? Yeah, exactly. You absolutely should be standing up for yourself. You know, like I was talking to some other people this week. Because, you know, not everyone in the community gets along, right? That's the reality of it. We all have different relations with each other, and we all have different interactions, right? And just because I get along with someone doesn't mean that you have to, right? But the friction comes when you and that person are in chat, because I'm friends with both of you, but you guys don't get along, right? And sometimes people block each other or just ignore comments the other person makes or what have you, and that's how we get along. But someone came to me after a conversation that we all had in chat with their concerns about how that person was addressing me. And the only person that should have a problem with how I am addressed ultimately should be me, right? You know? So like, for example, you know, like Stone thinks he's funny and does whatever his little bits are. But like today we were talking about how he cheers one single bit for people not to sing. Right? And, you know, it's funny to an extent, right? You know, that being said, you know, I was like, hey, like, you know, maybe you don't do that because, you know, it's kind of a dick move. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. And then, so this continues on in his chat for a minute. And then I'm like, okay, so I can clarify for you. I don't like it when you come into my chat and do this. Because I'm offended that you're trying to pay me not to sing. You know, it's a musical visual novel. I want to sing. That's kind of the fun of it here. If you're going to pay me to not do it, you know, like, it's funny, but I don't appreciate it. You know? Set a boundary today. Right? I don't want anyone to hate anyone, but exactly. But, you know, like, once again, Stone didn't know what the expectation was. Because at the time when he did it, I didn't wish to stop the game to pick a fight over it, right? And, you know, Stone does these things, and, like, Levy or June, if they're around, will literally pay me 2 bits to do it. Right? Like, you know, it's a funny bit, whatever. But it's not a funny bit that we need to be doing, right? Like, why? But also, and this is why it kind of annoyed me at the time is, so he pays a bit, we do our thing, whatever, right? Then he provides commentary on my singing. That's where I had to draw the line. It was like, no, like, this is why I'm actually annoyed about it. Even if I don't need to address that part, like, I need to identify myself what the real issue is, right? The bit of, I'm going to pay you not to sing, isn't the issue. It's that he's going to comment on my singing in my own channel in front of everyone. Like, no, but here's the thing. Hey, Wreckage, if my singing you really feel is that bad, that is something you can take up with me in a DM. You don't do it in front of everyone, right? You know, like, in what scenario is that reasonable or acceptable? You know? Now, I know Stone in real life. I know he doesn't mean it. So that's one thing, right? But, you know, let's say it's, you know, one of you guys. It's Pear, it's Lucy. You know, Rain, you know, I feel like I know all of you guys well enough. I know it's a joke. You know? While I may not appreciate the joke, I know it's a joke. But the community grows so fast, you know, like, we got, I would say 4 regulars, even people that aren't around all the time. There's probably 30 or 40 of us, right? And I like and appreciate you guys all. But I don't know everyone on a reasonably personal level, right? I don't know if some people are joking when they say things. But that being said, you know, what I need to do is get better at leaving it in the moment, finding them on Discord or through Twitch Whispers or whatever, and addressing the issue at the end of stream, you know? Hey, today you did this. The expectation is this. If you can't do that, you know, I will have to ban or time you out in the future. Right? And I am my own mod because I need to establish what the guidelines and expectations are for myself. You know, I got Stone, I got Lucy, I got Orc Chop, but largely I'm my own mod because Orc is at work during the day and Lucy and Stone are streaming when I'm streaming. Right? But if they can see what I'm enforcing and not enforcing, they know what the expectation for the channel is, right? And then if we have an expectation for the channel going forward, when I promote another mod, they already know how I expect my chat to flow. I've done it with Stone, they got really upset with you. And there is that. Sometimes I do address people and they don't take it well. And you know what? I tell them, I'm like, look, I like you. I want to be your friend. This is my channel. This is my space. I need it to be A, safe for me, B, safe for my community. And if you don't want to be friends or you don't want to hang out on the channel, that's fine. I will still come to your channel and support you. I will still talk to you on Discord. But, you know, I can't have you in my chat being disruptive, you know? And, like, that's fine with people I have some kind of relationship with. With all these randoms, it's a lot harder because I don't know them, right? And I want people to be able to stick around, have a safe space, and for me to get to know them. So I can have true conversations about these kinds of things. But if they're going to be here and disrupt chat and, like, get me upset and stressed out and angry, that's not what we're here for, right? And it's just easier for me to ban them. We do have 7 people that I have manually banned from the channel. I'm not going to name names. But there are 7 people that just aren't welcome here because I don't need that. You know? This is a very small chat. There's usually only 5 or 6 of us at a time. If someone is doing something to upset me and it's disruptive to the chat, it's not a busy... I'll leave. Not you, Moon. But, like, it's not a busy enough chat that I can pretend to just ignore messages and not see them, right? Like, it's one thing. Record said hi to me in Moon's chat earlier. I'm streaming right now and trying to keep up with 2 chats on my other monitor. I will miss messages, right? Like, I can't do 3 chats and play a game. That's human. But, like, when I'm focusing... Arden, don't leave. None of you leave. But, like, you know, there's... But, like, you guys know that, you know, this is a smaller community. We don't have a very busy chat, you know. I can't pretend to miss things in my own chat, you know? I do miss things in my own chat, and it's not even on purpose. But, like, when I miss all of one person's messages, it's very blatant that's what we're doing. And, like, I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored or anything. X Red. Hey, Red. How was Wizard 101? How we doing? Yeah, not on purpose, but, like, Arden, if I missed all of your messages for 10 minutes, it'd be very blatant I was just ignoring you, right? And that's not the atmosphere I want to cultivate. So I would rather address people, and if they can't respect the boundary, ban them at that point, right? You know, don't give them the opportunity to come in and be disruptive and pick a fight because they're being ignored. But, you know, that's my expectation, my belief, right? I can't expect anyone to run their chat the way I do. But yes, welcome in, Raiders. I'm James. I've given up on making you guys guess how to pronounce the username because it was a funny bit. But generally, everyone in our community knows at this point. When we raid into other channels, I still let them guess. I'm a variety streamer. Tuesdays, we do visual novels. This is Stray Gods. On Fridays, we do Fallout. Tomorrow, during the day, we'll be doing some Castlevania for DW Wreckage. And tomorrow evening, I haven't decided what we're playing. Thursday and Saturday, we also do variety streams. Don't know what we're playing. I'm thinking Hollow Knight on Thursday. But that'll be one of 2 games. Yes, Arden, I got Castlevania on the Steam sale, so I have 4 Castlevania games now. I got the Advanced Collection. Yes, Wreckage is aware, and I talked to Wreckage about doing a tomorrow daytime stream so that he can catch part of it. Just like June and Jay would probably like to see me play Hollow Knight, so I will find a day that they're available to play that. And I know that June plays Celeste, so I will reach out to June and find a day that June is available for Celeste as well. Because games that you guys recommend to me, if I get a chance to pick them up, I will find a time that you can be available for the first time I play them. Because if you enjoy a game that much, I want you guys to be able to share my first experience with it, right? Play Katamari? I played Katamari on the PlayStation. I remember Katamari very well. That's where we roll around the ball and make the stars because the king of all the cosmos got drunk and broke all the constellations. I believe that Winter played it on stream one day. So it is probably available on Steam, huh? Yeah, I think I was there. I just was doing something else on my main monitor. But I think I've, like, sort of watched it. But, like, if in the Discord, there is a thread that you guys can recommend games, and like, you know, feel free to recommend games always. Red, we're doing good today. We're playing Stray Gods, as I have said. Moon is EP. Moon, go to bed then. It is 8 a.m. for you. But yes, Red, we're doing good. Stream's going good. I know it's late for you, so if you have to raid and run because you work tomorrow, I totally understand. Make sure you hydrate, take care of yourself. I appreciate the raid. I appreciate you hanging out and everything you do. And I'll be around tomorrow, Red, if you want to chat about things. Alright, I was looking up Katamari. That was the other thing I was doing. I was trying to look up Katamari and address chat, which are not mutually exclusive things. Katamari is $40. That's a pretty big ask. We will wishlist that, Ardent, but we're not gonna buy Katamari right now. That being said, Ardent, I am looking into a capture card. I believe I have a copy of Katamari for the PS2, and I have a working PS2 still. So, if we get the capture card, maybe Katamari, maybe some of my old PS2 games, maybe some Xbox games. But yes, always feel free to go on the Discord and recommend games, or DM me and recommend games. For those that weren't here earlier, we have a leather jacket, because we can. And how's everyone feel about my leather jacket? That is the other question on the table. Pajama party? Yeah, everyone put on your pajamas. Slumber party. Be right here. You don't care at all.
You care. About me? That's a laugh. You sit up here in your tower and whatever humanity you might have once had, whatever wisdom, it's eroded away to nothing. The only thing you care about is making sure it doesn't all shatter. Not on your watch.
Zeus was the first to leave. King of the gods. And we don't even know what became of him. Vanished into the ether. Poseidon was next. Walked out into the seas. Never to be heard from
Excuse
again.
me? Thanks, Moon.
Ares betrayed us. Hephaestus saved us. Hades was murdered. And by one of our own. The list goes on.
And I've probably had it for like 6 or 7 years. I just never wear it.
So you add to it. I show up and you kill me off because you can't be too careful.
Welcome back.
Are dying, Grace. I don't mean diminishing or drifting apart. I mean, our immortality is disappearing. Very soon now, the idols will be no more.
It is very warm.
We are
but it is
legacy
very
that
warm in my
spans
condo right
millennia,
now, so we're not wearing
dating back
jackets.
to the very dawn of humankind. So yes, I care. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid that fate, even if it appears unfair.
Wear a tube top. Don't do that. I don't own a tube top, Ardent.
You know, it's too bad. I've been an idol for 5 minutes.
Head
and
to bed,
I've been
y'all.
out
Have a
there
good night,
solving
everyone.
problems
Have a good
you've
night,
all
Red.
wrestled with
Thanks for stopping
how
in.
long
Thanks
now?
for the raid. Be
I
safe.
could
Stay
have helped
hydrated,
you,
bud.
Athena. I could have helped all of
I
you.
will talk to you tomorrow, I'm sure.
You don't see that, do you? You're so busy holding on to what you have. You can't see what you're throwing away.
I know we've put a great deal on your shoulders, Grace. I do. All I called you here to ask is that you please not make my job more difficult than it already is. If you have any other questions or concerns, now's the time to bring them up.
I will make your job harder. Why would you do that, Levy? Also, which job? Like my real day job or my streamer job? Or my graphic design job? Oh, to Athena? Tell me about Pan. Let's discuss Medusa.
All right, let's talk about Medusa.
Met her, have you?
She tried to eat me. Can you uncurse her?
Is it true
Can
you
you
can't
uncurse her?
remove her curse? Or is she just too useful?
I wish I could remove the curse. I'm afraid the Athena who bestowed it is long gone. She was prideful, that Athena. As prideful as she was powerful, I'm ashamed to say.
The current Athena is responsible for everything she's done.
I am well aware, Grace. What is it that you would have me do exactly?
Deal with her.
How about deal with her? Make it so she can't hurt anyone else.
Perhaps you're right. I've been too lenient with Medusa over the years.
Promise still stands. So
But
yeah.
it's time.
So yeah,
that
see you
ended.
soon.
Now, if there isn't anything else,
Look at Red saying bye to everybody. What a stand-up guy. Tell me about Pan. Who can access
Who
the
has
reliquary?
access to the reliquary? Is it anyone with a key, or...
does it matter? You gained access, so clearly it is not difficult to get. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'll tell me who gave you that key.
You're kidding,
Give
right?
it to me. Athena, I had that key all along.
You what?
It's just like you thought. I used it to attack Calliope that night. Then I brought her back home to finish her off. A mortal with a plan, baby. Stole my way into godhood. Watch me roar.
That's not funny, Grace.
What's
I think it's funny.
is that you thought I'd tell you without getting anything in return. Speaking of the reliquary, you went there, right? Once Hecate told you what happened?
Just come to hang
Yeah,
out.
I
with
was
us enough.
not
Yeah,
impressed by
I
the
appreciate that
delay.
you guys come hang out, even if you guys can't chat,
If you
right?
had known about that, the
Just
night
popping in to
Calliope
say
died,
hi and
would it have
all
made
that,
a difference?
you know, is
The
is a good
chances
amount of
are
support, right?
exceedingly small that you attacked her there. It's true. Yet,
You know, y'all got
Calliope was
busy lives.
weakened,
You all got
which
things
made
to
her
do
more
on your own,
vulnerable
right?
prey for an enterprising mortal, one she knew. Perhaps the incidents are connected, perhaps not. I cannot afford the risk of uncertainty, Grace. I'm sorry.
What about Pan?
What do you know of Pan?
Pan? That's not a name I expected to hear. Been sniffing around you, has he?
I have some suspicions, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Pan lurks at the edges because he likes it there, seeking out whatever profit he thinks he can get away with. Avoid him, dear, or he'll stick to you like gum to the bottom of your shoe.
Alright. Is Pan a killer?
Okay, so you don't like Pan much. I get that. But do you think she could kill someone?
We've all killed, my dear. I was once a warrior queen, feared by mortals and gods alike.
Hydrate?
Another
Yeah.
idol, I mean.
Is that where your investigation
Jokes!
has led
I said
you?
bet, but I'm out of water. I'll be right
Pan?
back. I got up and I don't know what we're being asked. Can I abort? No. There's no way to review the text, huh? I'm missing something.
Sort of. But I feel like I'm missing something important. Maybe the goddess of wisdom could help me out?
It would be helpful to know what Calliope was doing at the reliquary, but she's not available to ask. Not until you regain her memories, at least.
Why not put off the trial until then? Seems like a good way to solve all this. Yeah?
And trust what you decide to share? I think not.
Alright, we outie.
I guess I'll get back to my investigation.
I am rooting for you, Grace.
Are
If there's another way to resolve this, any way at all, I will take it.
No,
Will
you
you?
won't.
Really?
You're trying to murder me. You're railroading me right now,
Good
Athena.
luck. Feel free to take a cookie on your way out.
The cookies are poisoned. It's her easy way to eliminate us.
Don't take it personally, Grace. Athena's first instinct is to follow the rules whenever things get rough. As if she believes that if the idols don't blindly follow every rule to the letter, we'll dissolve into utter chaos.
Well, is she right?
Probably.
Okay, she's trying her best. Are the idols really dying?
Do you think she's telling the truth about the idols
EP?
dying out?
Moon, if you're EP,
I'm
you
not
should go to
sure.
bed.
I mean, if it is true, why hasn't she told the rest of the chorus?
It sounds like she doesn't trust you.
Well, the feeling is mutual. At any rate, I'm afraid we're going to have to disappoint her again.
Uh-oh. What now?
You need to go back to the reliquary, Grace.
I better know
You know,
why.
Athena said something to me. That it'd be nice to know what Calliope was doing there in the first place.
And she's correct.
It's the only piece of the puzzle we're missing. Calliope went there because she had a plan. But what plan?
If she left clues behind, wouldn't Hecate have found them already?
That's a really good question.
We can't ask Calliope what her plan was. But you might be able to remember what she was doing there.
Her memories? But I thought...
That it will take years, yes. But if you go somewhere important to Calliope, or touch something special to her, you'll get flashes, feelings.
Do you want Grace to go to the reliquary so she can have deja vu?
I mean, that's certainly
I'm
a
willing to
strategy.
wager the place Calliope met her fate has left its mark in Grace's psyche. We have only to uncover it.
How do we get to the reliquary? Are you sure this will work?
Last time Freddy and I were there, Hecate wouldn't let us into the reliquary. Not without Athena's permission.
I'm certainly not suggesting we ask Athena for permission.
Then you mean...
A week ago, I would have said breaking into the reliquary was impossible. Yet it appears Hecate can be surprised. If her book says she will be.
Let's hope the book says that again, I guess.
Unless you've some other plan. I'm all ears, as they say.
The reliquary has alarms. You sure this work? All right, let's do it.
Right then. Back to the reliquary it is.
Any idea how you want to do this, Grace? Because I'm game to help.
Cool. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I can't go in with you. Hecate would sense me right away. I will, however, stay close by. If anything happens, I'll come. Hecate won't stop me. The Minotaur won't stop me. Nothing will.
Aw, she's gonna come to our rescue.
Gosh, it almost seems like you care.
Ugh, can we just get on with this already?
Freddy, get out. Persephone won't smooch me in front of you. Freddy, you're ruining this for everyone. Lay sigh. Freddy. Be honest. Sneak in the back way. Be honest. Boundaries, Freddy. Yeah, exactly. Freddy, you're beaver
so
blocking
that
me.
is now. Oh, you were expecting us?
It is written that you would come, yes.
That is so cool. I kid you not.
Yet it was also written that you would sneak into the reliquary as Calliope did, so this encounter is unanticipated.
Your book was wrong again? I didn't want to sneak in. I have to do this.
I figured talking face to face would be more civilized and, you know, less dangerous.
I appreciate your motivation, though surely you cannot think mere etiquette will change my answer.
I thought we were friends. This involves Athena. What would it harm? Don't you want the truth?
The only reason you won't let me in is because Athena forbids it, right?
She is the one to whom I made my promise, yes.
What if I said that she's a suspect in Calliope's death?
Is she a suspect?
She's an idol. I don't know that she's not a suspect. Yet. Without more evidence, isn't her command potentially self-serving?
You will regret this. That is also written.
That is a yes.
Go quickly. Look, but do not touch.
Look, but
the
do not
reliquary
touch.
stores many artifacts, some dangerous.
Got it.
Okay, do not touch. Got it.
Okay, Grace. What the heck do you do now?
What the heck do I do now? Alright, what do we got here?
Of all the times to not have Freddy around, she'd love this. First things first, how do I do this? Where do I even start?
This is a good question.
Calliope must have been here. She could have stood in this very spot. Maybe if I just focus.
Spooky. Zoom. Okay, we got some artifacts here.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I've definitely been here before.
Yes, because we have Calliope's memories. Okay. Egg. Mask. Trident. Apple. Branch. Roll. A statue. Roll. Branch. Apple. Trident. Mask. I mean, Grace, what do you think Persephone meant when she said deja vu? True. Okay. Well, Trident would be Poseidon. Apple. Apple would be Athena.
Freddy, are you out there?
Why are we calling for Freddy?
Can you hear me? What am I
Grace?
doing? All that'll do is tell everyone where I am.
Yeah, Grace.
I don't even know what language that is.
Statue?
Shouldn't that be in a museum somewhere?
Alright, so there's not a lot going on with these things apparently.
They should really charge for tours. It's kind of amazing. Is this an armory, too? What did Freddy say about mazes? Was it always go left? Or go left and then go right?
What does that have to do with the mask? Grace. Girl.
I don't get any feeling from that. Will I know it when I see it?
Instrument?
Is that a weapon? A musical instrument? Maybe it's both. This is it. Calliope was here. She was standing right here. And she...
Grace, you were told not to touch anything. Don't do it, Grace. Grace.
Uh-oh. I didn't mean anything. I didn't even touch it, honest.
You did.
Okay, then. What's happening? Why didn't it work? Grace? Freddy! We've got to run! My powers don't work on them, they just keep coming!
Freddy, no! Freddy!
No, I won't let you!
Okay, Frams. Going back to bed, Arden?
Freddy!
Our roommate just got stabbed. We can't afford this lease on our own. I hate to bounce, but I gotta... Yeah, go back to bed, Arden. Be safe. Hopefully you don't get any more tickets tonight. Good, have good EPs. Make sure you stay hydrated, though. Yeah, I hope not too. Late night tickets would be the worst.
Oh god. Oh god, Freddy.
By the gods.
You summoned the Furies.
What?
Those beings were the Furies. Beyond all our laws. Not idols, but the embodiment of retribution. How did you draw them here?
I didn't. There was a big mirror, but I didn't even touch it.
There is only one mirror of which you could be speaking. That used by the goddess Nyx to contact the Fates. Using the mirror would not have brought the Furies down upon you. Not unless the Fates themselves decreed it.
RIP. F in the chat for Freddy. F for Freddy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna stretch a little. I return. Fates, Furies.
Who are the Fates? Who are the Furies? I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything.
This was no defense or spell of the reliquaries. I do not have the power to summon the Furies, and I know none who do. You should consider yourself fortunate, Grace. They do not desist until retribution has been exacted. But now is when you leave. Pray the knowledge you obtained was worth the price.
Your friend's dead. Get out.
Persephone, we can't just... There must be something we can do.
She made her choice, Grace.
No! It's not right!
Come. There's nothing more to be done.
I like how we just leave a corpse in the middle of Hecate's library. It is certainly a move, you know? Look how sad Grace looks. Smart. Right? Just leaving bodies behind. I have so many thoughts on this. What are your thoughts, Levy? Because my thoughts are, like, why would leaving the body and what happens to it? I got questions. Levy, also, how much longer would it take to finish this run?
I'm sorry it came to this, Grace. It's clear what your friend meant to you.
Because, like, if it's, like, 2 hours or something, maybe we'll save this for next time we play this game. What do we tell her mother? We must have known each other since we were, like, 6, basically. Yeah, pretty much. Freddy went to join the French Foreign Legion. Yes, but, yes, there was 3 acts, but how long is this act? Is the question, I guess. Because if it's like a 2-3 hour act, you know, that's an entire another day that we play visual novel, right? We're not gonna. I mean, we could stay up till 2 a.m. playing this. But I feel like most people that are following the story are probably in bed or getting ready to go to bed. Yeah, we just finished Act 2. Yeah, I won't finish tonight. Okay, we'll save here then. Options. No, it auto saves at the end of the chapter. We good. Yeah, continue Act 3. Okay, cool. I'm not ready for bed yet. Do you guys want to hang out and play something else? Or do I end stream and I just play something off stream? Because I'm happy to hang out if you guys want to hang out. I don't know what games we'll play. I'm